another Mercy Health matchup. I'm Richard Skinner. He's Tom Gamble. We're previewing the games in the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. Up next, it's the season opener for Mount Healthy and Tippecanoe, Tom.
Yeah, the first Friday nights of games, and we've got two. This is one of the two we'll have this Friday, and it's at Mount Healthy, which if you haven't been there, it's a really cool setting.
The Owl's Nest.
Somewhat intimidating.
It is.
Because I think you kind of walk down, and then you have to play Mount Healthy. That's what's really intimidating. But you talk about a program that's had showdown success. In fact, they're looking to kind of end a short losing streak. They're 6-2 all time in the showdown. Won the first 6 games they played and have lost the last 2. But RV Crouch does a great job, and they're always loaded with talent, speed, athleticism. He does a really good job coaching the Owls, and I don't expect this season to be any different.
Both teams Division III teams, both in the same region, as a matter of fact. Tippecanoe, they both went 5-5 a year ago. Tippecanoe did not make the playoffs, but Mount Healthy did. And at 5-5, you've really got to beat some good teams to get there based on Harbin points. Very rarely does a 5-5 team even sniff the playoffs, yet Mount Healthy was still able to make it.
Well, and if the name David Montgomery means anything to you, of course, if you watch...
It does the Chicago Bears fans now.
Yes, it does. Third-round pick of the draft. This year, he played at Iowa State, had a great career at Mount Healthy, went up there, and is expected to really contribute with the Bears, and that's the type of talent that Mount Healthy has had through the years.
Yeah, this year it'll be led by running back Brandon Lanier, the leading rusher a year ago in the Southwest Ohio Conference with 983 yards. And on defense, how about this name to remember? Alassane Diallo. He's going to try to bolster a defense that does return some players, but obviously when you're a smaller school, you're going to have some guys you got to make up for.
Well, they do, but fly around to the ball, very disciplined. Again, that's kind of the game of RV Crouch. And, you mentioned Tippecanoe. I mean, they're making their showdown debut. One of the things about the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown is we love to include teams in the region. And this was one that was brought to my attention about they're playing for the first time. They're going to do a home and home. So this year it's at Mount Healthy. Next year they'll go to Tippecanoe. But the Red Devils are bringing back some guys as well.
Yeah, a couple of them to watch. Junior quarterback Troy Taylor, he threw for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns a season ago. And two-way player, running back, linebacker Grant Willoughby. They lost a lot of their top tacklers from last year to Tippecanoe, but certainly a couple of names to watch there. So it should be a really good matchup. And you talk about from again, these two teams are in the same region.
Right.
So this could be a big game when it comes down to the end of the year when you start looking at the Harbin points and the Harbin ratings. This is a game that either team's got to win.
Well, correct. Teams in Indiana, they all get in. Teams in Kentucky, they almost all get in. But it's based on district play. And in Ohio, every week is incredibly important. And I think especially when if you're Mount Healthy and the Southwest Ohio Conference has some tough opponents, you need to win your non-league games. And this will be one of them. As you mentioned, the Owl's Nest Friday night.
It's one of my favorite settings.
It's cool.
If you've not been, trust me, you will enjoy the experience at the Owl's Nest for sure. All right, Tom, how can people find out more information, not just on this game, but all the other Crosstown Showdown games as well?
Any and all Showdown information at xtownshowdown.com. That's our event website. And then you can follow us on Twitter. We'll have all sorts of updates, including live ones from the games, like this one, Mount Healthy Tippecanoe. That's at X-Town Showdown. Anything and everything at either one of those two places. Coming up next, it's time for the Mercy Health Huddle, your source for health information for your student-athlete.
Hi, we're here with Dr. Denny Stanfield from Mercy Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. And today, Doc, we're going to talk about shoulder dislocation. What exactly is shoulder dislocation?
Well, shoulder dislocation, a very common injury, is actually the separation of the ball from the socket.
And for young athletes, how severe can this be?
It can be very severe for a young athlete. It's a very common type of dislocation, and in the young athlete, shoulder dislocation seems to recur much more frequently than the older athlete.
There's different sports, so that injury can occur differently. What are some of the common ways that injury occurs?
Most commonly, usually the arm is out away from the body. It's a fall on an outstretched arm, or occasionally, like in an arm tackle in football, it can be pulled back and dislocated.
Medical technology advances over the years. That's a good thing. How about the treatment for some of these injuries?
Well, especially the treatment in younger athletes has changed over the last several years. Again, literature has told us that recurrence is real frequent in a younger athlete, so often surgical intervention may be indicated even after a first-time dislocation.
And with that, how about the recovery time for this kind of an injury?
Well, with surgical intervention, recovery time, probably about 6 months to return to sport.
Great stuff. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
When it hurts to move, what often hurts most is the fact that you can't. Because every rebound is calling your name, and every dance should be danced. It's in moments like these that we step in to help you step back off the sidelines Because it takes two to tango in this life, and you are meant to be the one. Mercy Health, healthcare for the universe of you. Find an orthopedic doctor at mercy.com/ortho.